What is going on, guys? This is your boy Tanveer Syed, Tan Tigers 1, the Bengal Dragon. Make sure to hit that like button, the subscribe button, follow me on Twitter at Tan Tigers 1, and hit that bell notification button. I'm here to give you my preview of the finals of the ICC Cricket World Cup 2019. We've had a long season of cricket. It is time for its conclusion. England versus New Zealand. One team that were overall the favorites, hot favorites, as this is in their home ground and England are in rampant form. And the other team, considered a dark horse almost every tournament, and their second consecutive ICC World Cup final. Excuse me. Now, given past records, this will be a game more for the bowlers. Because it seems, maybe at times England don't have the best bowling. It seems from a pace bowling standpoint, New Zealand seem to have a better bowling lineup. Trent Bolt is in rampant form at the moment. Okay, Matt Henry, especially on these pitches, Matt Henry gets a good amount of movement. Okay, Lockie Ferguson, he can generate a decent amount of pace and gets deep bounce from awkward angles and deceive the batsman with pace. Mitch Santner seems to be a more established spinner than Adil Rashid, or even Adil Rashid. He has a bit of a shoulder injury, shoulder problems right now today, but more than Moeen Ali, who thankfully they're not playing. Like, this dropping of Moeen Ali is something they should have done a long time ago. Okay. The Colin de Grandhomme magic pretty much has worn off. So they need to do something with that. Okay. Apart from that, I don't know if they're gonna play a Tim Southee or an Ish Soni, especially given that this match is at Lord's. So New Zealand, their weakness, however, is their entire batting lineup, apart from Kane Williamson, maybe a little bit of Ross Taylor, and an occasional one or two performances. Martin Guptill has failed and failed and failed. Henry Nicholls is not doing that much better. Although I will say this, Martin Guptill is an excellent slip, gully, and point fielder. Just look at some of the catches he has taken. Tom Latham also doing pretty good, behind the wickets. Okay. De Grandhomme maybe not doing that good with the bat. Monroe not doing that good with the bat. Jimmy Neesham, who can be handy with the ball, also not doing that. Yeah, he's been doing a consistently slightly better. But here's something that's telling. Look at the lack of centuries, the lack of hundreds from New Zealand. You'll see what I mean. And I believe the only hundreds came from Kane Williamson, which sort of tells you that New Zealand, their weakest point is their batting. And that is what's going to hurt them. If their weakest point is their batting and they come across an England side that is also rampant with the ball, this has the potential to be a very boring final. That New Zealand will be bundled out for something below it's perhaps going to be even more low scoring than the 2015 World Cup final. Okay, let's talk about England. Okay, Jason Roy is back. Jofra Archer is back. Okay, both of them firing on all guns. Johnny Bairstow, Jason Roy, Joe Root, Joss Butler, the 4 J's. Okay, then you have Owen Morgan, who can stabilize an innings and also, hit around the ground and basically manufacture boundaries and runs. Okay, then you obviously have what's his name? Ben Stokes, who still has not properly attained a prominent all-rounder form. This is why, like, a good amount of people now are bringing up that who should be player of the tournament. None of them bring up Ben Stokes, although England are in the final. Because Ben Stokes just hasn't been able to cut it. As a solid thing. Flintoff, I'll say this again. A light version of Flintoff. Okay. Ben Stokes is a light version of Flintoff, who is a light version of Jack Callis. And like a very light version of Jack Callis. So yeah. But still, you have some batting there. Chris Wilkes can bat. Okay. England, the only weakness they have is proper spin bowling. But now, if you're noticing, the pitches are starting to grip. So people like an Adil Rashid has the potential to be a bit more destructive. Because with grip comes bounce. They can get also bounce and turn. And Adil Rashid, being a leg spinner, can exploit that. Another bowler who can exploit it is Liam Plunkett if they decide to play him. Because Liam Plunkett, he actually tends to prefer pitches that provide lateral movement for the ball. He tends to prefer that more to, just like a straight up flat surfaces where you have to depend on swing and whatnot. Because we saw on those surfaces Liam Plunkett actually gets hit a lot. Jofra Archer obviously has the pace. Chris Wilkes has the experience. Mark Wood also has the pace. So overall, you could say the most balanced side with top-notch bowling, top-notch fast bowling, and top-notch batting would be England. Like I said, the only problem is their spin department. It's not the best. It's decent. It's usable, but it's not. It's not like world class. It's still good though. It's still it's something that belongs on a side. It's just not something that should spearhead worthy. Okay, my prediction for this match, given that it's at Lord's, England are gonna win, even if it's a tight match. Even if New Zealand push England close, England are gonna win. Who do I want to win? I want New Zealand to win. Believe it or not, I want New Zealand to win because they're going in as the underdogs. And you know what? Considering the size of New Zealand, in terms of population and whatnot, okay? And considering how long they've been around cricket, obviously, I think England has been around even longer, but considering their performance and the relative lack of focus and media coverage New Zealand gets, I think New Zealand should win. Maybe a Martin Guptill finally fires. maybe he will get a double century, and maybe he will give the New Zealand bowler something very devastating, a devastating total to defend, a huge total to defend. Because I think this would do more good for New Zealand than it will do for England. Because England, the cricket is pretty well established. New Zealand, they tend to still lean towards a bit more towards rugby and whatnot. But that being said, I will not be dejected with either one of them winning. Bottom line, cricket wins because we get a new world champion. That is the most important thing to take away from this. A new world champion. Let us hope it does not rain, and let us hope the match does not go into a reserve day. Because the last thing this match needs is to go to reserve day, and beyond that, the last test, the last after last, okay? Okay, yeah, like, you know, inner South Asian, okay? They invent word, last test. Okay, things they need, a thing they need is for the match to be rained off even on reserve day, and they have a joint world champion. To be very honest, if they have a joint world champion, here's what they should absolutely do. Take a page out of the NBA, okay? Take a page out of the NBA or whatnot, and maybe not a best of 7, have a best of 5 series. Have a best of 5 series. Since this was happening in England, have a best of 5 series in England to determine the world champions. But please, for the love of God, do not conclude that for 4 years we are going to have a joint world champion. Alright, that's about it, guys. Let me know what you predict in this finals of the ICC Cricket World Cup 2019. And who do you see coming out on top? Who your playing 11 would be? And who do you think would be the MVP of not only the match, but of the tournament? It's your boy Tanveer Side, the Bengal Dragon signing up. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button.